Hello, welcome to episode number 483 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. This is going to be Raw for week 3 of February 2024. The go-home show for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view this Saturday in Dublin. And tonight we find out the final participant in that WWE Championship Elimination Chamber match. We currently know Cody Rhodes, Carmelo Hayes, Edge, Randy Orton, and Drew McIntyre will be in that match. And our final competitor will be either AJ Styles, Xavier Woods, Baron Corbin, or Christian in tonight's 4-way main event. I've also got a 4-way tag team women's match tonight between 4 of Raw's top women's tag teams to determine who will face either Io and Dakota or Piper and Tegan for the titles next week. So without further ado, let's jump straight into this go-home show. We kick off the show with, of all people, Logan Paul and KSI coming to the ring. You know, they're going to be challenging for the Raw Tag Team Championships at the Elimination Chamber this Saturday in Dublin. And they're just coming out to say hello to the Raw crowd. You know, Logan Paul's, he goes, ever since I first competed here in a WWE ring, I've impressed everybody around the world. All I see online every time I log on to Twitter is guys that look like you, guys who went and left their mom's basement in 10 years saying, God, I really hate Logan Paul, but damn is he good. Now you see, for all that effort, there's one thing that I still yet to accomplish here, and that's becoming a champion in WWE. And this Saturday night at the Elimination Chamber, that all changes. Where me and my business partner in crime, KSI, we go to Dublin, we beat those bums from Titus World Records, and we become the new Raw Tag Team Champions. And we both become champions in WWE for the first time ever. And we're going to keep it that way. And we're going to take those championships all the way around the world on our tours, our advertisements, our sponsorships, everything. This will be the best damn thing to ever happen to the Raw Tag Team Championships. Certainly better than whatever those current two idiots are doing with those championships. Titus World Records then come out, and Titus goes, Logan, you work on a lot of sentiments that a lot of people do have. A lot of people do respect the hard work and dedication that you've put in here in WWE. But that doesn't mean you've got any right to be entitled to become a champion. Why? Because you've got such a social media following, because you've got all these fans around the world. You think you just deserve to be gifted that championship? No, you've got to earn that championship, like Truth did, like Shanky did, and all that effort and everything they went through to become champion. They fought their way from the very bottom to the very top, whereas you walked in day one at the very top. And if you think it's going to be a piece of cake rolling over Slim Shanky, the 7-foot giant, and R-Truth, one of the most disrespected veterans in the game today, to capture your first championship, rather than Elimination Chamber, that's going to be, a wake-up call for you, Logan, that you can't get to just walk into this and do what you want. And then Logan Paul's like, last week, I watched it last week, you beat Gallows and Anderson, big win for you guys as champions, beating Gallows and Anderson, their former Raw Tag Team Champions. But, I'm still not feeling like you're on Team Prom's level, you get me? Okay, I busted up the undefeated Floyd Mayweather, okay? I'm far better than anything you could bring to me. I'm better than Slim Shanky. I'm better than Truth. And we need to see what you've got. So how about the next tag team come out here and you two can have a little match right now? Pretty Deadly are the team that come out. And then we get Pretty Deadly against Truth and Shanky in the opening match. It's a 71, which honestly for this, fine. Sure, it is what it is. Truth and Shanky do win though. In 7:58, Shanky pins Kit Wilson with the his power slam. He's sort of become like Indian Hogan, he does the power slam on the leg drop. That's his finishing combo. And yeah, so like Shanky and R-Truth win, they're taking those belts to Dublin to defend them at the Chamber against KSI and Logan Paul. 61 for Shanky, 62 for R-Truth, 62 for Kit, and a 68 for Elton Prince. We then cut backstage, Kathy Kelly. She's there. My guest this time, the 2024 Royal Rumble winner, the Ring General, Gunther. She goes, now Gunther, winning the Royal Rumble gives you the right to determine who you want to face at WrestleMania. And of course, you've been to see Cody Rhodes, you've seen Roman Reigns, you've seen LA Knight, and of course, we've got this Saturday, the Royal Rumble, the Elimination Chamber. Any championships could change hands at that show. But I get word from, Dave Bautista that this Saturday, you and Florence both will be making your decisions on who you will face at WrestleMania. And Gunnar just goes, "That's right, Kelly. This Saturday night, the one world champion who the Ring General will see in Philadelphia at WrestleMania 40 will be revealed." And Kevin's like, "Can you give us any hints?" And Gunnar just stares down and just goes, "Do I look like the kind of guy who to do that, Gaffy Kelly? If you want to find out who the Ring General is going to fight this Saturday, tune in to the Elimination Chamber, where I will make a statement against whichever World Heavyweight Champion will be the one chosen to fall at my feet at WrestleMania." He just all walks off. So announcement is that the announcement for both Florence and Gunnar, who they'll be facing at WrestleMania, will be made this Saturday at the Elimination Chamber. That's kind of a selling point of the show. Let's see Charlotte backstage in her locker room. She goes, "I can't believe, Sasha Banks and Becky again. Okay. Like, Sasha, I've beaten her many times. Becky, we go way back, okay. It's almost boring fighting the same two people over and over again. But apparently now Charlotte isn't going to be in the Elimination Chamber because Sasha won the match. It's not because of me, it was because of Becky. Okay, if Becky wasn't at ringside, she didn't distract me. Just her irritating presence being at ringside, hearing her dumb voice on commentary, I wouldn't have got distracted and I wouldn't have lost to Sasha." But Ariana Grace, that's what she goes, "Charlotte, my queen. There are two ways in which we can deal with loss. You can either sit here and bitch and moan and let it get you down, or you can use it to grow stronger. And me, every loss that I ever take, as unfair as they may all be, I use them to grow stronger. And my queen, I expect nothing else from you. So sure, Sasha Banks may be getting the shot at the Elimination Chamber, but you've got to think higher than that, my queen. What if you got the Women's Championship shot at WrestleMania?" Charlotte just pauses, like, there wouldn't be a WrestleMania without me on the show. It has been a while, WrestleMania last year, I walked in as champion. I walked out as champion. This year, I could walk out as champion. Then Jay Flow sort of just walk in. They have a back and forth with Charlotte and the girls. Obviously, some sort of interactive with Ariana Grace, because that'd be funny. Mackie would blow the raspberry in her face. She'd get spittle on her face, and Ariana Grace would lose her mind. But it does set up later on tonight. We will get a singles match. Charlotte against Tam of J-Flow, not Mackie. Tam is going to wrestle Charlotte later on tonight. I believe they actually have a 91 rated match like last year. So, time to run it back. 83. A kind of just out of nowhere match, but it does serve a grander purpose. Drew McIntyre, who's in the Elimination Chamber. He gets a win over Johnny Gargano here. He beats Gargano 11-17 with a Claymore. 88 for Drew, 72 for Johnny. And big win for Drew. I guess that's momentum heading into the Elimination Chamber. Could he be the one to walk out WWE Champion? As for Gargano, with Ciampa now gone, he's in the House of Black. He's now a man on his own here on Raw. He sort of lost his way. Pun upon. But then you see Malcolm Bivens and the Women's WWE Champion Jade Cargill. Bivens goes, "I want to talk to you about one woman in particular, and for once in my life, the woman that I'm here to talk about is not that bitch, Jade Cargill, the Liberty Champion. No, it is a little girl you know and love all so well, a girlie by the name of Liv Morgan. You see, Liv, she's oftentimes considered herself the Spitfire of this women's division, this hardy underdog who won't give up, who'll do whatever it takes to become champion. And it did work. Because she did win that Raw Women's Championship, a championship that one day Jade Cargill will hold, but right now Jade Cargill is busy holding down the fort as the most dominant Liberty Champion of all time. And that will continue this Saturday when she gets her match with Liv for the Women's Liberty Championship. Now, back at ECW's Holiday Hell, it was supposed to be that bitch Jade Cargill defending against Liv Morgan on that night when Liv Morgan was attacked, and then her best friend Hikaru Shida stepped in her stead. And people were pointing fingers at Jade Cargill because they thought Jade Cargill was looking for a cheap, easy way out when facing Liv Morgan. But let me tell you this, that bitch Jade Cargill doesn't need an easy way out when facing anybody, let alone a little pipsqueak like Liv Morgan. Okay, so here's how Saturday's gonna go. Liv, bless your cotton socks, I hope you make it to Dublin in one piece. I hope you make it to that ring in one piece. I'd watch your back if I was you, because you know what happened last time. But Jade Cargill won't be the woman who comes after you if that does happen, because Jade Cargill wants you 100%, because Jade Cargill has been hearing for 2 months that maybe Liv Morgan could have done it. Maybe Liv Morgan could have beaten Jade Cargill. And that's been eating away at Jade. Because there are some people here on Raw who seem to think Rhea Ripley is the be-all, end-all of this division, but that's not true. Because there's only one dominant force here in the WWE Women's Division. It's not Liv Morgan, it's not Rhea Ripley, it's not even Becky Lynch. It's that bitch, Jade Cargill. We then see, cut from that to a defeated Johnny Gargano walking through the hallway. He's holding his head. He's just looking defeated when Batista walks up to him. And he goes, Johnny, just the man I was looking for. He goes, I appreciate the opportunity tonight, Dave, against a guy like Drew McIntyre. I should have done better by myself. And, I know without Tommaso here, it's going to be hard for me to find my feet on Raw, but I'm going to let you know that I'm going to give it my all. I'm all heart. I wouldn't be Johnny Wrestling if I didn't put my heart into it all. And he just sort of looks down at the floor. And he just looks back and he goes, Johnny, it's actually what I want to talk to you about. I have something that I need to speak to you because it concerns you greatly. If you could come to my office. Johnny's like, well, what the hell? Why does Batista want to speak to me? Then Grayson Waller effect. Grayson Waller and his best mate Dirty Dom are in the ring. He goes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Grayson Waller effect. Now, this Saturday night they're going to Ireland, I believe. I thought that was part of the UK, but apparently it's not. Apparently they really don't like it when you call them British. So, a bunch of British has-beens, British wannabes, hosting the final stop on the road to WrestleMania. And they're going to get a chance to see Grayson Waller in action. Because Grayson Waller, he's going to be teaming up with his best mate, my best mate here, Dirty Dom, and Tyler Breeze to face Dublin's very own homegrown flop, Sheamus. That pasty white guy. Dom's flop of a father, Rey Mysterio. And that new guy. The guy with the glasses and the jeans, and he walks around here without caring a world. Well, quite frankly, if there's anyone to get any kind of scoop out of a guy like that, it's your boy Grayson Waller. It's the Grayson Waller effect. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the ring my guest, Mr. Orange Cassidy. Out walks Orange. He gets into the ring. He sits on the chair. He's slouching on the chair. Dominic and Waller look across disgusted at him. And Waller goes, well, Orange, I see you're right at home on the Grayson Waller effect. It's fine. It's my show. Quite frankly, I would like you to be sat up, but you do you. So first, Orange, I'm sure the fine people here at the XL Center would love to know a little bit more about yourself. So why don't you tell us who you are and what's your story? Okay, well, I'll tell you, you're going to have to answer at least one question here, mate. How do you feel about teaming with two future Hall of Famers, Rey Mysterio and Sheamus, at the Elimination Chamber at Dublin when you're going to get stomped out by Grayson Waller and Dirty Dom and Tyler Breeze. It's alright. Alright. He speaks. It's alright. He says it's alright, okay? I mean, I wouldn't be too excited if I was teaming with flops like that anyway, but one more question, Orange. And Dominic sort of cuts Grayson Waller off and he goes, I've got a question for you, huh? Who the hell do you think you are? Okay, who do you think you are walking on my show like this, disrespecting me, disrespecting Grayson Waller, okay, and coming out here slouching all over the chairs on the Grayson Waller effect? You think you're above everybody else when, quite frankly, you're a nobody, you're a bum, okay? What have you got to say to that? He sort of shoves Orange Cassidy over, off the chair, and he sort of just gets up, and he gets in Dominic's face, and he goes, to that I say, Dominic Mysterio, I don't like you. Elimination Chamber, I'm gonna beat you. WrestleMania, whatever. And then Dominic jumps him, starts beating him up. Grayson Waller joins him on the break, beat up. Rey Mysterio runs out, he makes the save. Dominic, of course, runs away when Rey comes out, which then leads to a singles match. Singles match Grayson Waller against Rey Mysterio, which gets a 76 and ends in a DQ when Dirty Dom runs back out and beats the fuck out of Rey with, some prison-related item. Maybe that fucking stick, or whatever it is. And then Dominic and Grayson Waller continue to beat up on Rey. Orange Cassidy, Sheamus, he storms out, continues to fight to even the odds. Tyler Breeze runs out, he hits Sheamus with a low blow. And then it's 3-on-2. That's when Orange Cassidy saunters out. And he saunters into the ring, he does the shin kicks to Dominic. And then he hits the orange punch, he sends them flying, and then he does the dive over the top rope onto the three heels, being on the outside of his hand in his pockets, as Sheamus and Rey Mysterio watch on. So yeah, 6-man tag. Way to get Sheamus on the show because it's in Dublin. And I didn't want to put him in the chamber because ideally I'd like the crowd to be behind Cody in that match. And I don't want to put Sheamus in there because they'd be behind him instead. However, we cut from that. Christian's watching that backstage with Dijak. Kathy goes, Christian, what a scene we just saw out there. And he goes, yes, I know, Kathy Kelly. Last week, those two loudmouths came into my face and they started talking about their problems. And Dijak would put them down. And Lord knows I've got no love lost for Rey Mysterio or this new goof, Orange Cassidy. But tonight's a glorious night, Kathy Kelly, because I stand here before you, Intercontinental Champion. And in tonight's main event, it's going to be me, AJ Styles, Xavier Woods, and Baron Corbin, and the winner of that match will go to Dublin. Now you see, in that match we've got Cody Rhodes, poor Cody trying to still, win over his overrated father's dead heart. Randy, his father's still alive, just. Carmelo Hayes, don't really know too much about his dad, but he's not important. Nobody cares about his dad. Same with Drew McIntyre. And then the other guy, his name escapes me, Kathy. I can't remember the other guy in that match. And she's like, Edge. Christian goes, I've never heard of that man in my life, Kathy Kelly. I don't know who this Edge is, okay? But if he's anything like a good childhood friend I used to have a childhood friend, his name was Adam. And Adam was a loser, okay? He was riding my coattails because I was the cool kid and Adam was the loser. And I was that cool kid who dragged Adam up to my level. Now, if this Edge guy is anything like that, then he'll be a piece of cake anyway. But tonight it's all about me punching my ticket to the Elimination Chamber, moving on to WrestleMania as WWE Champion and Intercontinental Champion. Can you see it, Kathy? I can see it now. It's like, well, you're not the Intercontinental Champion. Dijak is the Intercontinental Champion. And Christian goes, what are you talking about, Kathy? And he's all like, he looks up at Dijak, who's glaring down at him. He goes, yeah, we are Intercontinental Champions, Gavi, and that counts. That counts me, okay? But when I win the Elimination Chamber, there'll be no WWE Champion. It will just be me. It'll just be Christian. He walks out. So yeah, main event, 4-way, determine who's in the chamber. Then get a sit-down interview. Kevin Patrick hosts. Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks sit down. Goes, ladies, thank you so much for joining me tonight. You know, you two have had a lot of matches in your career. You know, in fact, back in NXT, you were even a team. And, you know, Becky really caught her first big breakdown in NXT, trying to wrestle Sasha for the NXT Women's Championship. And look at how far you've both come in those 10 years since then. What's your mindset going into Saturday? Because I'll start. Because obviously, my mindset going into Saturday is a lot different to Sasha's. That's not just because I'm the champion and she's the challenger, because that is a different mindset as someone who's been on both ends a lot throughout our careers. We both know that it takes a different mindset to be a challenger than a champion. But Sasha's mindset's different to mine because Sasha's not wrestling in her hometown this Saturday. I am. Okay? It's been years since I've been asking and begging, basically pleading, you know. There's a really untapped market for WWE over in Ireland, okay? You can see when Sheamus came over here, he became WWE Champion. That was a big moment. You had Finn Balor come over here. Myself came over here. You know, Lyra Valkyria's over here now. There's a lot of Irish influence here in this company, Kevin, so it's a big night for not only myself, but the entire city of Dublin. Which is why, other than just keeping hold of my title and going into WrestleMania, that's why I need to win, because I've got a whole lot more than just this championship riding on that match. Okay, my family's going to be there. My daughter is going to be there. I can't lose in front of my family and my daughter. Okay? So what that would do to me, this is my WrestleMania. Sure, actual WrestleMania. That's going to be sensational as well when I walk into there as Women's Champion. But this is my WrestleMania before WrestleMania. I've main evented 2 WrestleManias before. But this match, for me, is arguably the biggest match of my life. And Sasha just laughed because, biggest match of your life, Becky, okay, that's good. Because to me, this is just any old Saturday. Okay? And you preparing for the biggest match of your life compared to me, the boss, preparing for any old Sunday, it's the same thing because I'm levels above you. Okay, you heard this guy, you mentioned NXT. Okay, there'd be no Becky Lynch if I didn't take the chance on you back at NXT. Okay, I was the champion, you were my number 2. You sat there and you took the fights with Charlotte and Bayley that I didn't want to take. That's your role. And sure, you've blossomed into, you know, the man. But I didn't need to blossom into what I am. I was the boss from day one when I walked in here, and I still remain on top of this division right now. You mentioned something very interesting, Becky. You mentioned your daughter being front row, your family being in Dublin. That's great news because, you know, Bayley used to have a super fan just like your daughter, a young girl, you know, in the front row. You know what I did when I wrestled Bayley in front of her hero? I made her cry. And on Saturday night, I won't be, you know, losing any sleep, having to deal with a crying baby when they realize that their mom isn't the undefeatable hero that she looked up to and thought she was. She's nothing but a fraud. And it took wrestling all the way across the world in her home city to realize that fact. You can be as much as the man and much as this standard bearer that you claim you are. But I've been the best since day one here. I am the standard. I don't set the standard. The standard is set by what I've accomplished. I didn't choose to be the standard. This industry made it that way. He goes, oh, okay. Big words, boss, okay? You're gonna make my daughter cry. Why don't I knock your teeth down your throat right now and make you cry now? Sasha goes, oh, you know, I'm on the clock, you know, I'm busy. But hey, you know, keep that fire for Saturday night. Keep that straight fire Bex. Because you're going to need it, and a whole lot more. And Sasha walks out. Becky, fuming. 60 rated match. Just going to give AJ a quick win. She beats Jada Parker in 4 minutes with a Shining Wizard. 81 for AJ Lee, 17 for Jada Parker. Yeah, not much else there to be said, really. We then cut to the anime boys. Mania has regrouped with the boys. And there's sort of like an awkward situation around the My Wrestling Academia table. Mania goes, so... Oh, Dio, sorry. Whoa, what do I miss? Mania goes, well, how'd it go? And Dio decides, he goes, Sensei, they're not budging. They've been talking this whole thing about, how, the pendant brings all this luck and fortune, and then Sensei not being there for Selena and Saray when they lost the women's tag team championships, and not being there when we lost our shot at the tag team championships, but they're doing it to try and help us achieve glory. And Mandy goes, achieve glory, I mean, but I'd rather lose fair and square, and I give it my all, than to win because somebody was scheming behind my back. Okay. It sounds to me like Sensei had our best interests at heart, but now only cares about themselves and remaining Cruiserweight champion. And Dio goes, I had those exact thoughts. And Carlos Ruiz steps into frame, and he goes, so, we will have to come to a decision. What are we going to do? Are we going to apologize to Sensei? Are we going to let Sensei continue to provide what we consider to be the great outcome, and My Wrestling Academia can prosper as champions? Or are we going to fight? Are we going to tell Sensei that they're out of line? And that we'd rather lose as ourselves than win as something we're not? And Saray sort of just sits there all nervously. It's it's my fault. If I didn't bring the pendant into any of this, none of this would have happened. And Manny's no, it's not your fault. It's all of us for not really seeing what Sensei was planning. And then Carlin steps up, of all people. And he goes, I think we need to see somebody else. Manny goes, who do you mean? Carlin goes, I don't want to see him as much as you don't want to see him. But I think for this situation and for what comes next, it's best we go and at least hear him out. And they all sort of look at each other. They sort of do realise who Carlin was talking about. And they all leave. Apart from Carlos Ruiz. Puts his Axiom mask back on. He goes, yo, I've got a semi-final match to prepare for. And then get a quick AJ Lee interview with Kathy after the match. She goes, AJ, nice win for you tonight. She goes, nice win? Okay, what, against an NXT girl? Okay, somebody's not going to be here next week. Yeah, bravo, great. Okay. Look, I know that my record here in the last year hasn't really been the greatest. I win one, I lose one, I win one, I lose one. But I'm still the inspiration for half these women who are walking through these doors right now. And last week I stormed to the ring. I told Becky Lynch to her face what I thought of her. And now she's going to defend against Sasha Banks at the Elimination Chamber. Well, I'm telling you this. Because Sasha can get this too. Whoever walks out of Elimination Chamber, WWE Women's Champion, I'll be waiting here next week and I'll be taking that championship from you. And I'll be taking it to WrestleMania. Because it's what it deserves. It deserves someone like me on top. 80 rated tag team match. Jesus, that is a lot better than I thought it would be. Especially considering Sol Ruca and Zoe Stark are in it. Yeah, Kairi Sane and Roxy Perez are the team who win. And it says elimination, that's what I was looking at here. It's not elimination. It's one fall. Kairi scores the pin over Ivy Nile. 68 for Tatum, 63 for Ivy, 49 for Zoe, 65 for Sol, 80 for Shayna, 64 for Carmella, 90 for Kairi, and a 76 for Roxy. So yeah, next week it will be Roxy Perez and Kairi Sane against the Women's Tag Team Champions, which, is preferred when our ringside correspondent Karen Patrick gets the ring to interview. And so next week it'll be you two against the Women's Tag Team Champions, whoever they may be. It could be Tegan Nox and Piper Niven, or it could be Dakota Kai and Io Sky. And then Kairi just snatches the mic and starts shouting in Japanese. And Roxy just says, I think what Kairi just said was, she's been waiting months to get her hands on Io once again. So, for the first time in a long time, Kairi's actually rooting for Io and Dakota to win on Saturday. Because we'll be right here waiting if they do. Then cut from that to Ivy Nile and Tatum Paxley. Tatum is selling. She's still got an eye patch on from when the witches burnt her eye. And Ivy just walks goes, man, tough break tonight, And Tatum just sort of turns around and goes, tough break. Ivy, I was out there with one eye. Okay, I've had one eye since we got blinded by Alba Fire all those weeks ago. And yet, it was you who was the disappointment. And Ivy goes, Tatum, what's this? Where's this coming from? She goes, I'm just sick of losing. Okay, sure, we don't lose often, but when we do, it sucks, because we should be the Women's Tag Team Champions. We should be going to WrestleMania. Last year I was at WrestleMania. I made a singles debut at WrestleMania. And this year our WrestleMania future is looking bleak. Because it's been a rough month for us. Right when we need to start picking up momentum, we're slipping off the tracks. And Ivy goes, yeah, I guess you're right. Then Rhea Ripley sort of just walks in chuckling. Because, yeah, must suck knowing that WrestleMania is, a pipe dream for a little loser like you, Ivy. And I was like, well, who asked? And she goes, oh, you want to step to me? Great. I'll see you next week. And then Rhea just walks off and goes, see, this is what I mean. This is what I mean. Rhea Ripley? Really? She goes, okay, right. I know it looks tough, but I need to win, Rhea start winning. I'm going to beat Rhea next week. Dan goes, yeah, good luck. 88. Not quite good as the 91 they had before, but yeah, still a banger. Charlotte does beat Tam, though, in 13:54 by pinfall. 87 for Charlotte, 72 for Tam. And yeah, not too shabby. And a big win for Charlotte, coming off her loss in the main event last week. Next week, though, is the first show following the Elimination Chamber, and I guess the first on the official road to WrestleMania, and we have some big matches announced for that show, because we heard from AJ Lee earlier on tonight. Next week, she will face either Becky Lynch or Sasha Banks for the WWE Women's Championship. Here on Raw on the road to WrestleMania could be a huge late hurdle for the Women's Champion heading into the show. And speaking of championship matches, Kairi Sane and Roxy Perez, the new alliance of sorts, will be chanting for the Women's Tag Team Champions. Will it be against Io Sky and Dakota Kai, or will it be against Tegan Nox and Piper Niven? We'll have to find out this Saturday night. And also, there's only women's matches announced for next week. Ivy Nile and Rhea Ripley, one-on-one on next week's show. 85 rated main event. AJ Christian, Corbin, Woods. One of these men will be the final entrant in the Elimination Chamber. And yeah, it's wild times. It's a four-way. It's a Baron Corbin fatal four-way, so he's cooking in it. He is. But AJ Styles is looking like he's got it won, you know. He goes up top. He hits the phenomenal forearm on Baron Corbin. He covers Baron Corbin 1, 2, and then the lights shut off. And then when they come back on, he's there being held prone by Brody King and Ciampa. And then Aleister Black is in the ring and he delivers a black mass to AJ. He falls to the floor. He picks him up like with his foot under the chin, hits that black mass, takes him out again. And AJ Styles is down and out. And the House of Black leave. But AJ Styles is still out cold in the ring, and then we see Christian's head pop up from the side of the ring. He looks around for any other ups. Nobody's around. He slides into the ring. And he gets the pin on AJ. And Christian will be going to the Elimination Chamber. 74 for AJ, 77 for Corbin, 75 for Christian, 88 for Woods. So Woods did all the work here. And yeah. So it'll be Christian, Randy Orton, Edge, Carmelo Hayes, Drew McIntyre, and Cody Rhodes. The finalized lineup for the Men's WWE Championship Elimination Chamber match this Saturday. But the show isn't over. Because as soon as Christian gets the pin, he legs it out of the ring. Because the House of Black re-enter the ring. Aleister takes the chair. He places the chair over AJ and sits on the chair on top of AJ. And he goes, AJ, I'm sorry about the collateral damage. But it needed to be done because I needed to let the world know that it is time for two demons to collide. This Saturday, it will be myself against the demon Balor. And Balor, if it is club for life that you preach, even in your most sick and twisted form, then by God, let that evil out right now. And we do get a demon entrance. Finn comes out in the gear. Balor, demon paint on Raw. He gets into the ring. And he goes face to face with Aleister Black. And Aleister Black sort of just chuckles. He picks up the chair that he was sat on. And he just carries it out of the ring. And then he orders Brody King and Ciampa to beat up the demon. Demon starts attacking Ciampa, but he is eventually overwhelmed by both men. But then AJ Styles is back up. He helps fight off Ciampa. And then a sling blade and a coup de grace from the demon to Brody King, as he glares at Aleister Black at ringside. But the show's still not over. Because after that, we do cut to ads and we come back. Christian's in the ring with a microphone. Because, wow, I'm glad all that's out of the way because, those spooky guys are really trying to take away from my moment. And the way that Raw should end, the only way Raw should end, is with me, the future WWE champion, standing in this ring addressing all of his people. And letting you know why, at the Elimination Chamber, it will be historic. Because I've said it time and time again, I will leave a double champion. I will defeat Cody Rhodes. I will defeat Drew McIntyre, Carmelo Hayes, Randy Orton, and yes, even Edge. Edge comes out. And he gets in Christian's face. And he goes, after everything you've done over the last few months, I shouldn't have been rooting for you to win this Elimination Chamber match. The qualifying match. But I was, Christian, I was rooting for you to win it. And he goes, of course you were, Adam, you were always rooting for me because I'm successful, I'm only living the dream you could ever dream of living. And he goes, no, it's not that. It's, the Elimination Chamber is a diabolical structure. It shortens careers, it changes lives. I know I've been in a lot more than you have throughout my career. And I'm just thinking to myself, what if myself and Christian, we were alone in the Elimination Chamber? What if myself and Christian were to go at it in the Elimination Chamber? Well, I say, it'd be a great opportunity to smash your face against that glass, use that chain, use anything I can get my hands on, to put you in your place and avenge those 6 months you stole from me last year. Christian goes, yo, you can keep dreaming, Adam, because you might even be in the ring when it's time for me to enter the Elimination Chamber. Okay, so I would, again, keep that little dream to yourself. And then we do hear the crowd start buzzing. Randy Orton slides into the ring. He drops Christian with an RKO. And then he's going wild. Him and Edge are there. When Carmelo Hayes rushes in, he flies in out of nowhere. Hits nothing but net on Randy. Edge goes to spear him. He ducks underneath Carmelo Hayes' clothesline, bounces off the ropes. He does spear Carmelo Hayes. Edge is all fired up. He turns around. Claymore. Drew McIntyre, kip up. He looks around at all the dead bodies. And he's screaming. He goes, it's going to be mine. I'm going to win the chamber. Wrestling has more than one royal family. Out storms Cody Rhodes. He rushes to the ring. Him and Drew fight at it. And he flies in. Cody Cutter takes down Drew McIntyre. He gets to his feet. He's running wild. He's throwing his weight belt into the crowd. He's just losing his mind. But Christian low blows him. And Christian hits the kill switch on Cody. And the go-home show ends with Christian standing alone in the ring, holding both the Intercontinental and WWE Championships up high. Could this be the scene this Saturday night? 89 rated show. Fun little go-home show. But I'm in WrestleMania mode right now. So the Elimination Chamber is going to come and go. But the Chamber is where a lot of the WrestleMania build will begin properly. So it is a show I'm very much looking forward to. No Way Out last year was one of my favourite shows of the year. But before we get there, we do have one last episode of Heat to get to. There was I think it was a 6-woman tag we know was announced, but was involving Toxic Attraction against 3 opponents. But I think that was it. Kicks off with that aforementioned Toxic Attraction match. Mandy Rose, Kenzie, and Kylie Page defeat a trio who sort of, seem to vibe together. The Moth, Katana Chance, and Kaden Carter, all party girls. Randy pins Katana with the bed of roses in 9:30. 26 for Kylie, 39 for Kenzie, 63 for Mandy, 65 for Demoth, who actually scored the highest in this match. 50 for Kaden and 56 for Katana. And yeah, just a nice win for Mandy and Toxic Attraction. It wasn't going to be like, oh, it's a new trio or anything. It was just, I wanted to give Toxic Attraction a win because they haven't really won a whole lot since they formed, and I wanted to sort of change that, build them up on Heat. This is basically their show. We then see Brandy Rhodes and Danny Jordan in Brandy's office. And Danny's like, over the last couple of months, Aaliyah's been really weird with Skylar and me. And, it's just, I can't believe that, it's come to this, but if she won't listen to us, then the only way I can get her to listen to me is by beating her in a match. So next week on Heat, I'm requesting that you book myself in a match against my dear friend Aaliyah. And Brandy goes, well, it must have taken a lot of guts for you to come and, ask for that fight. And I'll see to it. I'll make sure you get that match that you need next week against Aaliyah. 59 rated match. Thea Hale gets a match. She gets a win for Colton. A Thea Hale jump scare on Raw when he's not expecting her. She beats Ariana Grace in 7:41 by pinfall. 45 for Thea, 58 for Ariana. And yeah, just 2 women I want to get on the show, help get better. We then get our video, Lyra, back in Dublin. Her and Kelly training at, her old training school. I think it's the one that was opened by Finn, actually. I think that's actually but that's where they go train. Lyra's going home for the chamber. I'm actually imagining she'd probably already be in Dublin because I don't think he's on ECW tomorrow. So she's probably already over there, for shoot, not just for this. But yeah, she is one of the, 6, but 5 confirmed so far, ECW Women's Elimination Chamber competitors. Killer Kelly could also be in there, which actually does ruin this whole segment because she shouldn't be there because she is on ECW tomorrow because she's in that Battle Royal. So take her out. Fuck it. But the chamber is Julia, Ruby Riott, Lyra Valkyria, Sonya Deville, and Blair Davenport so far. Then get a 74 rated tag match. The Witches, they get a rebound tag team win from that loss that they were never supposed to take on SmackDown. Alba Fire pins Anne-Marie Porter with a gory bomb. 63 for Kelsey Cook, 75 for Anne-Marie, 60 for Iona Webb, and an 82 for Alba. She has a gimmick that's getting stale, so I'll probably tweak that in a sec. But 82 is really good for Alba Fire. Like, she's so much more popular than Iona Webb because, you know, she was with Becky for a bit, and that helped get her pop to, I'm going to say max, but what I mean by that is, you know, there was a time when, like, everybody's pop was capped at 70, and then she was one of them people. They then got a spooky promo, you know. We've already seen the evil changes within Tatum Paxley after she got fireballed by Alba Fire. So, you know, anyone who dares step to the Witches, unless your name is Florence and Candice LeRae, good luck. The 78 rated main event, Ruby Riott, you know, we mentioned is in that Elimination Chamber. She defeats Yoko Uehara of Ichiban, 15-28 with a Riot kick. 76 for Yoko, 73 for Ruby. And yeah, that ends Heat. Gets us 75. Yeah, what matters more, those were you thought of the show, mainly of Raw. So do let me know what you thought in the comments below. Again, don't want to sound like an annoying YouTuber, but do subscribe because we're close to 1k, we're less than 100 away, and that would be a cool milestone to hit by WrestleMania. And apparently, mentioning to subscribe in the video does help. So, we'll try it here. I've probably done it at the start, but, you know, whatever. And I'll see you next time anyway for ECW's Go Home Show. See you then.